All right, let's settle in. All right, let's settle in. We're moving into chapter 4 of Come As You Are.
I need it. My brain feels like it's running way too many background apps today.
Sorry. These chips are they're life-changing.
If you don't stop that, Paco, I'm going to use your spleen as a percussion instrument.
Let's focus. We left off on the idea of the stress cycle, how the body needs to finish the loop of tension. Now, Emily Nagoski is pivoting. She says chapter 4 is about the long-term context, the years of no messages we've absorbed.
Years of no messages? That hits hard. It's like, we aren't born with these inhibitions, right? She says, you began these lessons long before you were capable of thinking critically about whether you wanted them.
Like being programmed by a buggy piece of software before you even have an OS.
Exactly. And the beauty of her argument is that since it's learned, it's unlearnable. She's proposing a massive system update. But first, she has to identify the viruses. She calls them the 3 core cultural messages: the moral, the medical, and the media.
The triple threat of bad vibes.
And she says they're encroaching on our gardens. I love that metaphor. Like we're all trying to grow this beautiful, healthy sexual self, and these messages are just weeds.
Well, some of those weeds are more like toxic ivy.
Wait, look at what she says about body self-criticism. She says it's so embedded in Western culture that most women hardly notice how ubiquitous and how toxic it is. She even claims many women think it's beneficial.
That's so true. I see it all the time in yoga, that push harder, fix the flaw mentality. We think if we criticize our bodies enough, we'll optimize them.
Optimization is just another word for anxiety with a better marketing team.
Spoken like a true comedian, but look, she's actually using research here. She says if the only change you make is reducing body self-criticism, it will revolutionize your sexual well-being.
Well, if that's the case, I'm already a saint. I only criticize myself about 90% of the time.
90, you're slacking, Jane.
Anyway, she's moving into the 3 messages. This part is wild. She says her students often think they know a lot about sex, only to realize they actually just know a lot about what culture believes about sex.
And she proves it with a direct comparison. She pulls up a manual from 1926, Ideal Marriage. Look at this definition of normal intercourse. It's all about simultaneous culmination, both partners hitting orgasm at the exact same time, specifically through ejaculation.
1926? That's prehistoric.
Right, but then she holds it up against the Height Report from 1976, which says sex can be anything intercourse, no orgasm, genital, just intimacy, whatever seems right to you.
Hey, sorry guys, I think I left the oven on, or maybe I just smelled something burning.
Paco, we are in the middle of a deep dive into sexual deconstruction. Go check your kitchen.
It's probably just my dignity burning. I'll be back.
If he comes back with a burnt spatula, I'm leaving.
Anyway, back to the text. She asks her students, which of these is more like what you learned growing up? And the answer, she says, is no contest, ideal marriage.
That is so heavy. Even with all the progress, the old, rigid 1926 version is still the default setting for so many people.
Because it's part of the moral message, and this is where it gets dark. She defines the moral message as, you are damaged goods. She quotes this 1766 sermon by James Fortes. He basically says that if a woman enjoys public diversely, like going to the theater, it pollutes her soul and makes her a prostitute.
Wait, so if you have fun, you're unlovable?
That's the logic. If you are sexually desirable, you are, by definition, unlovable.
It's a perfect trap. You can be pure and unlovable or desirable and a slut. There is no middle ground in that software.
Okay, the oven is fine. But I did find a burnt piece of toast. Does that count as a medical message for my breakfast?
Not now, Paco. We are literally talking about the destruction of the female psyche.
Just saying, the toast is also a victim of the media message. It looked much fluffier in the advertisement.
Let's get back to the medical message. This is the one that says, you are diseased. She says this message claims that if your sex drive doesn't work exactly like a man's specifically, if it doesn't follow the desire, then arousal, then orgasm loop, then you have a medical issue that needs medication or possibly surgery.
The fix-it culture.
She even gives an example of a woman whose doctor told her low libido was just her body shutting down to prevent pregnancy.
And what was her response?
Hell no. She tells the doctor he needs to read chapter 7.
I love her. She's just completely refusing to accept the buggy code.
Okay, we've covered the moral and the medical. Now let's look at the third one, the media message. And if the first two are about being damaged or diseased, this one is about being inadequate.
Oh, I can feel that one in my teeth. It's so loud.
It's relentless. Look at how she lists the requirements for being a good sexual being. She basically goes on a roll: spanking, food play, threesomes. She even asks, you've had clitoral orgasms, vaginal orgasms, uterine orgasms. You've mastered at least 35 different positions.
35? I don't even have 35 different types of pasta in my pantry.
If you find a way to make 35 positions work with Pinai, let me know. I need the tutorial.
But look at the follow-up. It's a lose-lose. If you don't do all these things, you're frigid. If you don't have a collection of vibrators or enough partners, you're a prude.
And it's about more than what you do. It's how you look. She says you're too fat and too thin. Your breasts are enough too big and too small.
If you're satisfied with yourself as you are, you're settling. That is such a toxic modern way to live. It's like we're never allowed to just exist.
Exactly. And she points out that this isn't just some abstract vibe. She points to the drugstore checkout counter. Those bright sans serif fonts on magazine racks telling you exactly what you should be doing.
It's like a constant low-grade software hack, right? Even if you think, oh, it's just a magazine, it's not real. She says, it's there, affecting your garden, whether you welcome it there or not.
The garden metaphor again. It's getting a little crowded in there with all these weeds, isn't it?
It really is. And to illustrate how deep this goes, she brings in a student, Camilla. And this is where it gets actually fascinating. Camilla was looking at old romance novels from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, God. The era of big hair and even bigger bad decisions.
Right. But she wasn't just reading them for fun. She was analyzing the context they created. She found this recurring bizarre pattern, the good girl archetype.
I think I know where this is going.
It's a loop. The good girl has no accelerator, and her brakes are super sensitive. She has no sexual feelings until she meets the hero. And the hero, well, he just ignores her brakes and has sex with her anyway.
And then what the purity of her vagina just tames him.
Exactly. The purity and goodness of her squeaky clean vagina tames the hero, and they fall in love and get married.
That is spectacularly awful. It's like a bad fever dream.
But wait, look at what Camilla realizes. She realizes that if the stories are this distorted, maybe the way we think about actual sex is just as broken. She asks, what if everything about how sex works is just as poorly drawn as the Escher girls?
That's a heavy realization that the very map we're using to navigate our own pleasure is just a bad drawing.
And Nagoski hits us with the punchline. She says, and of course it is. She's made of all the same parts as everyone else, organized in a unique way.
It's so validating. It's like she's saying the hardware is fine. The software is just corrupted.
But then she gets really real. She goes back to the body. She asks, on the day you were born, how did you feel about the chub of fat on the back of your thighs?
I don't remember. I was a bit preoccupied with breathing and crying.
But she makes the point. As babies, we are celebrated. Every roll, every bump, it's all perfect and lovable.
And then puberty happens, and the seeds of body self-criticism are planted.
And look at this experiment she does with her students. She asks them, what would happen if you met your friends at dinner and said, I feel so beautiful today?
I bet they'd look at you like you'd grown a second head.
They told her no one would do that. But then she asks, how often would someone say, I feel so fat today? And they all say, all the time.
Because we have cultural permission to criticize ourselves. We're literally trained to do it.
And she connects it directly to the physiology. She says there is a direct trade-off between sexual well-being and body self-criticism. This 2012 review she cites found that women who feel worse about their bodies have, well, more pain, less pleasure, and more unwanted consequences.
Because of the brakes.
Exactly. She asks you to imagine sex when you're insecure, when you're trying to hide parts of yourself. Does that activate the accelerator? No, it hits the brakes. Hard.
It's like trying to drive with the emergency brake engaged. You're burning the engine, but you're not going anywhere.
But then, imagine the alternative. Imagine sex when you feel tremendously confident and beautiful. When you love every inch of yourself.
The mechanism moves towards sex and towards yourself, without conflict.
Easier said than done when the media message is screaming in your ear.
But she ends this section with a challenge. She says, to have more and better sex, love your body. And then she acknowledges the obvious. Yeah, but how?
Yeah, seriously. Just love yourself is great advice for a Hallmark card, but it's not a strategy.
And she gets to the root of it. She says we don't need to learn to love our bodies. We need to unlearn the idea that self-criticism is good for us. She makes a massive claim here. Criticizing yourself equals stress equals reduced sexual pleasure.
It's a literal biological chain reaction.
It is. She says our brains process self-criticism in the same areas linked to behavioral inhibition. It is, quite literally, the brakes. When you say, I'm so stupid or I'm so fat, you're physically slamming the brakes on your own ability to feel pleasure.
Honestly, I need a break from all this biological warfare.
Perfect timing, because the doorbell just rang. The Italian place is here.